Alright, I got a team going. So we're gonna go ahead and head down to the lower barracks. See what all I need to do. Wait, go back. Get a hold of this material that's in the back here. Oh, it's just an all material. Alright. And if memory serves me correct, we should be fighting the first version of Genova. Don't hold me to it. And they put one of my partners to sleep. There we go. Let me hit up here real quick. I want to get what's in that thing up there. Because I don't know if I'll be able to go back to it or not after the boss fight, so I want to make sure. Wind Slash. I'll check that out later. More enemies. Still an ether, so that's good. Alright, another battle down. Here he comes. Oh shit, this hit the fan. Here we go. Right off the bat, I'm gonna do what I can. That's right, I can summon twice with the Moogle. The main thing is you just want to keep pouring on some damage while you still can. They will use time-based attacks, or excuse me, time-based magic like stop or slow. And I don't have a remedy, so... poison it. Nope. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, no poison. I'm still good. I'll hold off on the cure. Tail laser shit. Yeah, it's a good thing I did that when I did. And we won. Yep. That's an arm. It was more like a penis. But then again, what do I know? Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. And we should be hitting the other side of the continent here in a minute. Which is good because, I haven't really touched on this in a while and I want to do a little bit of grinding, get back into the groove. Kind of boost up some of my materia too while I'm at it. And now I got a new materia, Infrit. And we should be hitting the shores of Costa del Sol. Small little beach community town. Alright. A bear wearing a marshmallow. Well, technically the group made him the leader, Barrett. So I don't know why you getting all pissed off about it. Hell out of here. Alright, douche nozzles, you gonna land that helicopter or what? Hey, you up to be? You had one job and you couldn't even pull that off. Oh yeah, throw your crew over the barge. Why don't you? Ain't like they ain't got things to do. But we be asking them for favors. Alright, let's see what I'm working with. Okay, there's no safe spot in here. How about here in the end? No safe spot in here. Barrett's doing something. Yep, Professor Hojo. Out in the middle of the sun. But before I confront anyone, I want to go ahead and save. I'm probably going to call it a day. But you and those who are watching probably won't notice anything, so I'll see you guys in a little while. Alright guys, I ran into a little editing snag. I had to, for the remainder of the playthrough, I had to cut out my mic for a little bit because there was some stuff going on in the background, so I'm adding audio as we speak. But yeah. This is pretty much the next day, just trying to get this up and loaded and rendered. And before I could do all this stuff, I had kind of a busy day. I had some relatives that were down helping us out with the yard a little bit. Trying to get some shit squared away. Had to put some new shingles back on the roof due to Hurricane Matthew wanting to be a fucking dickhead, and went online and went ahead and voted for this presidency, so I had a pretty eventful day today. Yeah, why would anyone go to the beach other than get a tan? I think most people go to the beach to either surf fish, maybe even get some ass, get laid on the beach. If it's a new beach, maybe you'll watch some ass and titties. You don't know. People have a preference nowadays. And to be honest, I'm still contemplating whether or not if I should still keep continuing with this walkthrough for this game, because here, hopefully in less than a month, well, probably almost a month away off, Final Fantasy 15 is supposed to be coming out, and I'm looking forward to jumping on it. Plus, I want to get another project started, which the Skyrim Special Edition is supposed to be coming out in how many days left until it comes out? It comes out tomorrow. Shit, it's already 27th. I might end up having to get it late. But good things comes to those who buy their time and wait. So I just have to buy my time. And for those who might be watching at home, just out of curiosity, which franchise of the Final Fantasy series are y'all a big fan of? Personally, with the exception of this one, I played 8. I played half of 9, I played and completed all of 10. I haven't touched 10-2, and I haven't touched any of Final Fantasy 6 and the other ones before it. At that time, when I lived in my family was just about dirt poor, so we couldn't really afford too much things back in that day. Not like it was now. At least I can kind of float and get by a little bit. But it's one of those deals when you're a college student and you have to make every red penny stretch as much as you can. And sometimes that can be very stressful, because you don't know if your money's going to hold out or not. But at the same time, I like doing this and I enjoy it, so that's why I do it. And I believe now we should be leaving this area and possibly heading towards North Corel. And I believe I stopped at a materia shop. Yeah, I'm seeing it right there. Went ahead to get a few things, prepare for the road, get some more magic under the belt. That's definitely going to come in handy for curing poison, curing KO. I'm sure what Seal does. I have to double check on that. I'll probably find out eventually. I have seen some people doing live streams with this, and some of them don't even bother challenging themselves with it. Usually they'll use the little perk system that came with it, with the, well, since this version is based off the, mobile app, they said they used it ×3 in the, infinite health and limit break thing on there. Usually when I'm doing walkthroughs, I try to be as honest and honorable as I can during the walkthroughs. But I have started another playthrough where I tried it with those two functions, and it does excel the game faster. It gets repetitive after a while because you're not getting that challenge, which is what I hate about it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of funny sitting there watching Cloud speaking at 90 miles an hour, so that is a plus. And I think the next 30 some odd minutes is mostly just me going from battle to battle, fighting some Russian toys on the way there. The little Chapukin dolls, what do you want to call them? Yeah, those motherfuckers right there. Shoot a buzzsaw at you. They got some pretty decent AP on them, but they're not what you would call the toughest enemy in the area. I tell you one thing that Square Enix ought to do to bring back to the newer gen consoles. Bring back, Justiers of Cerberus Final Fantasy 7, where you get to play as Vincent Valentine. Now that shit was awesome. And it was a nice change of pace, too. It had some RPG aspects, but at the same time, it was mostly like a third-person shooter type deal, which made it more interesting. Not to mention, Vincent Valentine's backstory was pretty awesome too. And I'd be looking forward when I run into him. He's got some of the awesomest limit breaks in this game. And most people bitch about him because they don't really see a purpose in why getting it. But the thing of it is, You just got to know how to use them in certain battles. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all you have to do. Like Yuffie. Yuffie, she's about the same way as Barret. She's good for long-range battles. And there's most bosses that you have to use characters that can hit them from long range. So, it's one of them double-edged sword type deals. You have to pick and choose your battles when it comes fighting certain enemies. Which now, I played this game so many times. And remind you that when I first played this, I had a strategy guide helping me out for the majority of it. But I've played it so much now, the majority of it's committed to memory, so I have about 95% ideas of what I need to do and how to go about it, so you won't see me getting stuck in one area for too long. Situation like that does come up. Now, some of the side quests, you might see me kind of struggle a little bit, but that's only because the side quests, they're one of those deals I had to double check myself just in case. As far as main story, I remember it like the back of my hand. And you could tell that I had a lot going on when I was doing this part of the section because the audio weren't... Well, here's the deal. I thought I had the audio preset recorded while I was playing. I forgot to punch in the button. But in a way it kind of worked out the way it is because my grandfather, he was in the kitchen cooking at the time and he was making a lot of racket, a lot of noise. It's not his fault. I mean, he's diabetic. He's got to eat, so I can't blame him. So I always try to find ways to make both parties happy in a way. So if I knew occasions like this was to happen, I can at least rely on some of the Share Factory's extra features and make them work to my benefit. You can do a lot when you edit, but there's not a lot you can do when you stream. That's why I always stream late at night. Because by that time he's asleep. And I got some privacy and I can do what I can do. And hopefully by somewhere around the middle of 2017, a remastered version of this should come out as well. And I will be looking forward to that too. Just out of sheer curiosity. Let's take his ass down. Yep. Alright, my E-Vape's charge. Go ahead and get it taken off. And I probably won't be recording all the battles. Some of them will get recorded and some of them I'll probably edit and cut it down. Just so it won't be too damn long, because these older generations RPGs, you had to take your time and engage in battles to beef yourself up. So grinding was a thing that needed to be done. Most people see it nowadays as a chore. Personally, I enjoy it. Because if you keep fighting up, you're only making yourself stronger. Get yourself prepared for future battles, and some people fail to realize that. That's why it always helps to have shit like that in mind. Keeps you prepared. And the concept applies to live action RPG games like Fallout and Skyrim. Or, not Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls. You know what I mean. And I believe we are now at the reactor, which is not far from North Cole, so we should be getting close to Barrett's roots. Hopefully we get to hear a little bit about his backstory before the end of this video. But we'll just play it out and see, because there is some goodies around this area. Definitely do not want to miss out from this point on, because there's some material you really want to get your hands on that's going to aid you in future battles. Little fly suckers. Sucking all that HP. And just out of curiosity, for those who might be watching at home, what was y'all's favorite boss fight in any of the Final Fantasy franchises? I would like to read comments about that. Personally, one of the iconic boss fights that I like, that I remember was, which boss fight was it? I think Ultimecia from Final Fantasy VIII. She's the biggest boss fight that stood out to me the most, because she had so many forms that you had to do to take her down. I hope they remastered this and put it in on this console, because I would love to play it. Final Fantasy VIII was my bread and butter. But I still have a special love for Final Fantasy VII too, because this thing was what helped pioneer the PlayStation consoles. So you got to have some form of love and respect for it. Same deal with Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell was one of those titles that helped pioneer the Xbox console, so a lot of people have a love and appreciation for that too. Not to mention, it gives a little bit of nostalgia to it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do these walkthroughs. It gives you a sense of nostalgia. It reminds you of days when things were simple. Before you become an adult, you had to worry about bills and shit. Let me see if I can catch the ledge on here. Get some of these goodies. Some of these railings. I believe this should be Star Pendant. That'll come in handy for poison attacks. New weapon for Barrett. That's definitely going to increase attack power. Doesn't really have much for slots. I went ahead and equipped it anyway. And this is the one thing that always irritated me the most about this configuration system, because in this version you had to balance out your materials to make sure they would accent your party members for their true strengths and not hurt them in the process. Case in point, Cloud, he would be your biggest heavy hitter because he could be the one that does the most damage, and he's the first person you level up the fastest with, so it makes more sense to have him use your yellow and your purple materials, and you don't want to overload them too much with green materials because they'll cut down on strength. Whereas Eris, for example, she's not the strongest person in the world, but she can dish out a lot of magical damage. So you can add as much shit on her as much as you want, as far as green materia and red materia, and she'll be just as equally strong as Barret and Cloud. Sad part is, you don't really get to have her as long as you want her to. I won't go into more detail for the sake of spoilers, but we eventually will find out, and I'll show you what I mean. I believe I was messing with the camera configuration. I was trying to do this battle. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Final Fantasy IX was one of those titles that you can actually use for 2-player when it came to the battle configuration. So you can have player 1 control 2 of the main part players, and then player 2 can control some of the supplementary players in that party, which was a nice little addition to it. But when it came to move along with the story, player 1 had complete control of it. Player 2 can only do the battle sequence. But it was one of those things where you 2 people can actually enjoy an RPG style game at that time, which I believe was at the ending or the last few years of the PlayStation 1 model. So it was a nice little addition that they had at that time. And then everyone soon forgot about Final Fantasy IX when FF10 came out. Everyone wanted to be Titus. Or Titus. I kinda wish I could play that game too, to be honest. Transformation materia, that might come in handy in certain boss fights. And I might have to restart the audio recording here in a minute because it only allows 15 minutes in each intervals. Yep, I was right, 15 minutes. I gotta be mindful of that. Which now, the further we go into this, you'll see me doing some more heavier editing to cut down the time. Because this is one of those little areas where I had to jump back and forth. It's not a straight shot because I had to get the other party members there, get them going. So I had to get to that switch. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a nest that I went up here and expect. I think it was a chocobo's nest. Or a monster's nest. Okay, I got them going. They should be okay. There it is. Little baby chocobos. Or chickadees, whatever they're called. And there's 2 options that you can do this. Now their nest is sitting on top of an item. Now you can get the item, but you end up damaging the nest in the process, which will put you in another fight. Or you can just leave the nest alone. Because the item I believe you get out of here is just another item you get later on down the road. I mean, technically it's a materia that you can buy at another shop further on. So it's one of those situations you can go without. some of these items, I believe you can either sell them, get a little bit of gil back. But if you like to do a little grinding, which is I often like to do when I'm not recording, you can get most of your gil earned by doing that. Especially if you fight higher level monsters. Which now, right now, we ain't facing much of a challenge yet. We haven't really got to the big areas where you fight level 50, level 60 monster battles or enemy battles. Right now, the only thing I'm fighting is little giant mushrooms with teeth. Shrooms. Instead, I want to shoot seeds at me, get me laced up with LSD. But I think chocobos like mushrooms. Gives them a healthy source of vitamin B12. Or I could just be saying that to run my mouth, so there won't be dead air. I'll probably do a little bit more extra grinding just so I can get 60,000 gil. So if we happen to get to the golden saucer, I could buy that lifetime pass and still have some gil to get by for future shopping and purchases. And that's another thing too, I'm not really looking forward to that chocobo race. The battle systems and the arena battle systems, those I do pretty well in. But that fucking chocobo race, that shit's a pain in the ass. I mean, granted, it was a change of pace. You go from fighting to trying to race, but probably for the sake of earning trophies, I might dabble into the chocobo racing. And I might have to double check the trophy list and see if it's on there. I mentioned I want to try to switch out some of the members in here, get them up to where they're at least at moderate levels. Because I know Cloud's going to be at least a couple levels higher up than some of the other people. And Eris, I'm not really too worried about because, well, once again, I'm not going to divulge on that because of spoilers. It's kind of nice how the series kept the majority of their original monsters. The Iron Giants, the Bombs, Ultimate Weapon, Omega Weapon. And I believe when the PlayStation 1 came out, there were certain games they were trying to change up some of their normal routine combat command systems that they normally differ from. A good example of that would probably be like the first Resident Evil franchise that came out for the PS1. It was one of the first games that I played that used the zapping system, where the story changes depending on how you play. Final Fantasy VII has some key aspects that's similar to the zapping system, and you can kind of tell when you get to the golden saucer for the second time. And I believe we're now in North Corel, Barrett's hometown, or what's left of it anyway. Right now it looks like a giant pile of shit. But like Bethesda had a hand in it. I believe the story of how this town came to be it might get told when we get to the lower part of the Golden Saucer. Because now we're about to see some conflict going on between Barrett and the group. Barrett, he's like one of those characters that has a lot of remorse from his past. And Marlene tends to play a big role in it because some of his decisions to keep her in his custody was based on the outcome that took place in that town at one point. Most people think Barrett's kind of a hard ass by nature, but he does have a heart. He does care. And for those that he truly does call friends, he will fight to the death for them. But he's the kind of a guy, he doesn't really wear his heart on his sleeve, but he holds a lot of guilt and a lot of remorse from his mistakes. So that's one of the reasons why he's kind of one of my favorite characters. Why I like to use him a lot, because even in certain dialogue inputs, he hits some valid points. Despite the fact that the writers of this script try to portray him to being like a common African American badass. Which now Cloud, he's no exception to it neither, but the majority of his dialogue and his personality comes from his backstory, which we only know a little bit sliver of it, and that's just from his point of view. And we'll later find out that there's more to it than what the story he told, but we'll get there eventually. There's still at least another, not including combat, there's still another 60 hours worth of gameplay in this. I'm already looking into this being a 50 to maybe 100 part walkthrough. That's why I'm taking my time with it. Even if the newer version comes out, like the remastered or reboot of this, if this is not finished before that comes out, I'll still be doing this just for the sake of being thorough and completing it, because I don't like to leave shit undone. And I still haven't yet finished Resident Evil 0. I need to get back on that soon. I've been saying I want to do it, but I never had the time to do it because just for the simple fact is I never played RE0 before until I started it. So I was having to learn as I go along. And I'm still contemplating if I want to delete the entire playlist I got set up now and just start over from scratch, or just restart the whole thing and then start recording again where I left off. Because I'm only at the point where I need to get the chemicals and stuff that I need for the battery. Of course, y'all didn't see that. I probably left it off where I fought the Proto-Tyrant for the first time. Probably a little bit after that, too. I don't know. Anyone in the comment section down below that happens to watch this, if you want me to restart that playlist, please let me know. Or if you just want me to continue where I left off, let me know. I hate to delete 10 hours worth of work that I already got on that thing just so I can be refreshed and start new from scratch. Or I can just start off and then start recording where I left off. But at the same time, I don't want it to be uneven. I want it to be complete. I want it to flow. Which I know sometimes it'd be difficult when you have to edit shit out and stuff like that. So it's one of them deals. But it's like anything else, man. When you start a YouTube channel and when you do post recordings and when you having to edit and render and stuff, sometimes shit is not as simple as it makes it out to be. Because you're always having to find out, well, is this going to make the story better, or is it just going to drag this on or just even worth recording or put it into the actual cut. Which majority of times I don't have a choice, because the Share Fracture system, despite the fact that it said it can record up to 80 minutes, it only let me render and edit up videos up to an hour. And if I go past the 60-minute, it won't render and it won't edit. So it's one of them deals. But probably after I get done editing this, I'm gonna get back on Resident Evil 4. I got 3 days left to get this up before November 1st. I'm gonna at least get the main campaign out of the way and get it done. And hopefully by the time I get the main campaign done out of the way, I'll have it completed and uploaded at least on Halloween night. I'll probably do it chapter to chapter. And for the sake of getting it done faster, instead of having to upload it through the console, I'll probably put it on my flash drive. And I'll open multiple tabs to my YouTube channel and upload it that way through the external flash drive. I got a 16 gigabyte flash drive that can render stuff in HD, so it should do pretty well. But I won't know for sure until I put it to its test. But this is probably going to end the video. Please leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the video. If you really enjoy it, leave a like. If you're new, please subscribe. I'm probably going to do a little bit of grinding. And, so yeah, keep your eyes out for RE4. And I will see y'all in the next video. Hope y'all enjoy.